Wrestling and toys are a match made in heaven. Since the 1980s, the WWE has dominated the toy industry with countless figure lines and playsets. If you name it, it probably exists. Sure, you have your standard figures that might feature a wrestler and some accessories, but that's not what I'm interested in. No, I'm interested in the stuff that makes you take a second look, as if to say, really? That exists? From monster-fied WWE superstars to figures that actually sweat, today we're going to be taking a look at some of the weirdest WWE toys that the toy industry has to offer. I mean, after all, these are larger-than-life characters, so while it makes sense to exaggerate their personas and personalities when it comes to action figures, sometimes that gets taken a little too far. WWF Stomp. WWF Stomp was a line of figures released by Jakks Pacific from 1997 to 1998. This line featured various World Wrestling Federation superstars and varying assortments of tactical gear for any special mission they might face. That's right, these were basically special ops versions of famous wrestlers. But to show you guys just how ridiculous this already silly idea got, I need to read you the back of the packaging of the first series of figures. Washington, D.C. Rumors surface over the internet that an elite corps of the World Wrestling Federation may be responsible for devastating anti-terrorist attacks around the world. The United States government neither denied nor confirmed that such a group exists, but sources deep inside the Pentagon provided some sketchy details. According to these sources, the government secretly handpicked wrestlers to form an underground militia to bring war criminals to justice. The World Wrestling Federation would not comment on the story, but during the period in question, as well as in recent months, some of their top wrestlers were unexplainably absent from the ring. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ahmed Johnson, Crush, Brian Pillman, Undertaker, and Ken Shamrock are among those suspected of being part of the Special Tactical Operations Military Police, or STOMP as they are known, but others may be involved as well. A full-scale media investigation is expected to shed light on these bizarre allegations, but until then, the story remains clouded in speculation and unsubstantiated rumor. So yeah guys, if your favorite wrestler is ever absent from the ring, don't worry, they're just performing top secret tasks for the government. The first series of figures was known as the War Zone. This series included Ahmed Johnson, Brian Pillman, Crush, Ken Shamrock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. Series 2 was known as Underwater Siege, as the battle was taken to the Deep Blue Sea. This series included China, Headbanger Mosh, Headbanger Thrasher, Owen Hart, Rocky Maivia, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Ken Shamrock was also supposed to be in this series, but the figure went unreleased. It's also worth noting that various pre-production pictures of the figures in the wave exist with different paint and some varying accessories than the final figures, though the figures themselves seem to be exactly the same otherwise. Series 3 would be the final series of figures and would be known as Space Domination, as the fight was taken to outer space. This series included Kane, Legion of Doom Animal, Legion of Doom Hawk, Mark Amaro, Sable, and The Undertaker. This last wave, as wacky as it was actually kinda neat, as it included a bonus vehicle. By buying any two male figures in the wave, you could build an interlocking battle board. Again, an absolutely ridiculous line of figures, but there is an odd charm to them. WWF Maximum Sweat. In 1999, Jakks Pacific released a line of figures known as WWF Maximum Sweat. This line featured giant hulked-out versions of various wrestlers, which you would then fill with water to make them sweat. Yes, because if there's anything kids want, it's an action figure of a shirtless, middle-aged man that sweats. I guess I can kinda understand the thought process behind these, because, yeah, sure, wrestlers sweat when they're duking it out in the ring. I get it. But I'm not so sure that that translates to toys. This line consisted of 4 series of figures. Series 1 included Kane with mask and maskless variants, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, and The Undertaker. Series 2 included Billy Gunn, Edge, Ken Shamrock, Road Dogg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. Series 3 included Big Boss Man, Big Show, Gangrel with white and blue shirt variants, Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. And Series 4 included Billy Gunn, Droz, Kane, Road Dogg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. There were also special issue versions of various characters. These included Billy Gunn, Edge, Ken Shamrock, Road Dogg, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. There was also a JCPenney and Sears mail-away of The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. These appear to be the same figures as the Series 1 versions, but with different accessories. I can't say that this line isn't interesting. It definitely is. It's just odd. But I'm sure some of you watching might have some fond memories of playing with these growing up. They're big and bulky, so I can imagine they would have been a ton of fun to bash around. WWF Ring Stunners. At Toy Fair in 2001, Jakks Pacific showed off a series of figures dubbed Ring Stunners. Each figure was set to have an action feature based off of actual moves that the wrestlers would perform in the ring. The line was set to include kicking X Factor with kicking action, spraying Triple H, which would have spit water out of the figure's mouth, and slapping Stephanie McMahon with slapping action, which is absolutely hilarious to me. So you could have your Stephanie figure slap Triple H, who would then spit water everywhere. Rikishi was also set to get a figure in the line, though his action feature is unknown. Though, by looking at his figure, it's possible he would have had some sort of punching action. However, for reasons unknown, this line was never released. WWE Slam City. In 2014, a series of stop-motion animated shorts based on WWE wrestlers called Slam City aired on the WWE Network and also on Nicktoons. The series featured a character known only as the Finisher, who fired all of the wrestlers, forcing them all to go get jobs in Slam City. Kane got a job as a lunch lady, Alberto Del Rio was a barista, John Cena was a mechanic, Randy Orton became a zookeeper, and CM Punk was an ice cream man. Which, given his history with ice cream, makes perfect sense.
Number one thing being, I want you to bring back the WWE ice cream bars. Do I want an ice cream bar with my name on it? You're damn right. So we're listening to the audience today, just today, is that right? We're listening to what they want? Then where, oh where are my WWE ice cream bars? And one of the things I want to find out is where the hell are the WWE ice cream bars?
To go along with this web series, Mattel produced a number of figures and playsets based on the shorts. And they're as goofy as the shorts themselves. These figures had stretchy arms so that you could pull them back and launch them against opponents. The playsets were where this series shined though. You had the Blast and Smash cart with Ice Cream Man CM Punk, where you could shove other wrestlers in a giant ice cube and shoot them out of the cart. There was also the Launch and Crash car with Mechanic John Cena, where you could launch John out of the breakable car like a crash test dummy. There were also two bigger playsets. The first was the Breakdown Assault Vault, which came with an exclusive figure of the Finisher. This playset was your basic ring playset, but connected to a bank vault, with a giant safe hanging over the ring. You'd launch your superstars from the included ring post to try and knock down the safe. You could also break open the bank vault itself to reveal the WWE World Championship inside. The best and most insane playset out of them all, though, is the Gorilla in a Cell playset with Zookeeper Randy Orton and everyone's favorite wrestler, a gorilla. You would place the gorilla on top of the cell, and then using the included palm tree launcher, launch the included Randy Orton figure to try and knock the gorilla down into the cell below. As silly as this is, I kinda love it. I just love the idea of Randy Orton being a zookeeper and having to perform an RKO to get animals back in their cages. This line didn't last very long, lasting just 2 waves of figures and the 4 playsets. WWE Mutants. In 2016, Mattel released the WWE Mutants line. This was a line of 6 figures that reimagined various WWE superstars as mutants. This line included Bray Wyatt as a crocodile-like creature, Brock Lesnar as a 4-armed beast, Finn Balor as his persona the Demon, John Cena as a metallic superhuman, similar to Colossus from the X-Men, Stardust as an alien, and Sting as a scorpion monster. This is a really weird line, but at least some of the choices like Sting, Finn, and Brock make sense. Stardust is definitely a weird one though. Overall though, this is definitely one of those more gimmicky lines that was clearly aimed at kids. And it was only one wave, so I guess there's that. WWE Nitro Machines and Nitro Sprints. In late 2016, Playmates Toys released 2 sets of vehicle-based WWE toys. Exclusive to Toys R Us stores, these were known as the Nitro Machines and the Nitro Sprints. The Nitro Machines were your basic die-cast car toys, but with a plastic WWE superstar sticking out of the car. The Nitro Machines on offer included John Cena in Muscle Monster, The Undertaker in Ripper Hearse, The Rock in Bull Machine, and Dean Ambrose in Wheel Asylum. The Nitro Sprints were definitely aimed more at younger kids, as they each featured a motorized WWE superstar that you would rev up and then place in the included vehicle to make them go. These included John Cena with the Cena Raider, The Rock with Bull Bruiser Truck, Brock Lesnar with Beast Bike, and The Undertaker with Night Hearse. Neither of these series lasted more than a single wave, and while I'm a bit surprised the Nitro Machines didn't catch on given the large die-cast car collecting community, I'm not shocked at all that the Nitro Sprints didn't continue, with how kid-focused they were. And how many young kids in 2016 knew who The Undertaker or Brock Lesnar were? These weren't a terrible idea, but they're definitely weird. Yes, WWE superstars can sometimes be seen interacting with, or even driving various vehicles, but not enough to warrant a whole toy line. Yes, an ambulance playset for your basic figures makes tons of sense. A die-cast toy car of The Undertaker driving a souped-up muscle car hearse does not. WWE Zombies. In 2016, the same year that the Mutants line was released, Mattel unleashed the WWE Zombie line of figures, featuring everyone's beloved superstars as grotesque walking corpses. I'm sorry, but I don't think zombies have the same appeal to kids as a mutated Scorpion Man does. Though, it's more than likely that adult collectors bought these. I say that because from 2016 to 2018, Mattel produced 3 separate waves of WWE zombie figures, which means these must have sold decently well at the very least. Series 1 included Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, Paige, Roman Reigns, The Rock, Triple H, and The Undertaker. Series 2 included AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Series 3 included Charlotte Flair, Finn Balor, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Kane, and Shinsuke Nakamura. It's worth noting that Series 1 was originally supposed to have 9 figures instead of 8. When the figures were first shown off at San Diego Comic-Con 2015, a zombie Hulk Hogan figure, ripping off its skin like it was his shirt, was also on display. However, just a few weeks after the figure was shown off, racial remarks made by the wrestler in 2007 were published online. Despite Hogan apologizing, his contract with WWE was immediately terminated, and all of his merchandise was taken down from various online stores, with Mattel also stopping production of action figures of the wrestler for a few years. Hogan would later be reinstated into the WWE in July of 2018, and Mattel began producing figures of the wrestler again. Despite this, the zombie figure remains unreleased to this day. WWE Monsters. In 2018, as the Zombies line was drawing to a close, Mattel wasn't quite ready to let monster-fied versions of WWE superstars go, so they introduced the aptly named WWE Monsters line. Like the Mutants line before it, the line only lasted one wave. This line included Asuka as the Phantom, Braun Strowman as Frankenstein, Chris Jericho as the Mummy, Jake the Snake Roberts as the Creature, Roman Reigns as the Werewolf, and The Undertaker as the Vampire. I honestly feel that this line is a lot stronger than what came before, and I wouldn't have minded seeing another wave or two. The Chris Jericho and Jake the Snake figures especially are really cool to me, with Jake's figure really highlighting the snake part of his persona. Meanwhile, I just really dig the yellow and purple on the Jericho figure. I don't think the other figures are as strong, but I still think this is a really fun line. Elite Collection Ghostbusters. In 2019, Mattel released a Walmart exclusive line of WWE Elite Collection figures dressed up in Ghostbusters gear for the 35th anniversary of the original Ghostbusters film. This line featured John Cena, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Undertaker as a translucent purple ghost for the team to bust. Masters of the WWE Universe. Also in 2019, Mattel released a crossover line combining WWE superstars with the Masters of the Universe toy line. This line was exclusive to Walmart stores, which made them rare and difficult to find. But it must have sold well because it lasted for 8 separate series of figures. Each figure came with a mini-comic like the main Motu toy line, so these figures have lore and a story that's worth looking into. Series 1 included Finn Balor, the Heroic Demon King, Ultimate Warrior, the Heroic Champion of WWE Eternia, Triple H, the Evil Skull King of Kings, and Sting, the Mysterious Vigilant of Vengeance. Series 2 included Rey Mysterio, the Heroic High Flyer, Roman Reigns, the Heroic Big Dog, Faker John Cena, the Evil Robot of the Skull King, and Macho Man Randy Savage, the Master of Macho Madness. Series 3 included The New Day, the Many Faces of Positivity, The Rock, the most electrifying man in WWE Eternia, Braun Strowman, the ruthless monster among men, and The Undertaker, Dead Man Walking. Series 4 included Mr. T, the Heroic Pitier of Fools, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Evil Lord of Fireflies, Jake the Snake Roberts, Evil Purveyor of Poison, and Seth Rollins, Slayer of Kings and Beasts. Wave 5 included Becky Lynch, the Man of WWE Eternia, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Heroic Master of Dragons, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Evil Hot Rod, and Macho Man Randy Savage, Horrid World Order for Life. Series 6 included Goldberg, Heroic Human Jackhammer, Ultimate Warrior, the Heroic Champion of WWE Eternia, Stephanie McMahon, Evil Billion Dollar Skull Queen, and Kane, Demonic Red Machine. Series 7 included Junkyard Dog, Heroic Grabber of Cakes, Sergeant Slaughter, Heroic Sergeant at Arms, Bret the Hitman Hart, Excellence of Execution, and Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of WWE Eternia. Finally, Series 8 included Rey Mysterio, Heroic High Flyer, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Unpredictable Bionic Rattlesnake, and Chyna, the 9th wonder of WWE Eternia. In addition to the figures, 3 playsets were also released, 2 of which included 2 figures. These included Grayskull Mania, the battleground for the superstars of WWE Eternia, with John Cena, the most unseeable man in the universe, and Terror Claws Triple H, the evil Skull King of Kings. Rattlesnake Mountain Ring, Stone Cold Stomping Grounds, with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Unpredictable Bionic Redneck, and Hulk Hogan, the immortal herald of Hulkamania. And the final playset was the Grayskull Ring, a re-release of the Grayskull Mania playset minus the figures. There was also a 4th playset in production, the Entrance Ring playset. Unfortunately, it was cancelled before it could be released. It's unknown what figures would have come with it, if any. There were also rumors that Big Show was initially planned for the final wave of figures, but due to him jumping ship to AEW in 2021, his figure was cancelled before he could be produced. But I've been unable to verify this, with my only source being a paragraph on the He-Man Wiki, which did not cite a source. However, with the final wave only including 3 figures instead of the usual 4, I could see this being true. This was a really cool line of figures, and I would have really liked to collect them, but I never saw them at my local Walmarts at the time. The only one I ever saw was Faker John Cena. I don't even remember seeing any of the Ring playsets. So yeah, really cool and bizarre idea, but making these a Walmart exclusive absolutely killed a lot of potential that the line had. Still, ending after 8 waves of figures isn't such a bad way to go out. WWE Beast Mode. In 2021, Mattel released a series of blind box figures called WWE Beast Mode. This series featured micro figures of various wrestlers, along with a separate Beast Persona figure for each wrestler. You could fit the wrestler figure inside the Beast figure or have them as two separate figures. Series 1 included AJ Styles as DC Samurai, Becky Lynch as Straight Fire Phoenix, Braun Strowman as the Monster Among Men, Daniel Bryan as the Planet's Champion, Finn Balor as the Demon King, Roman Reigns as the Big Dog, The Rock as the Brahma Bull, and Triple H as the Skull King. Later that same year, a second series of figures was released with some new characters, as well as re-releases of some Series 1 characters for some reason. Series 2 included Becky Lynch as Straight Fire Phoenix, Big E as Unicorn Warlord, Power Form, Bray Wyatt as The Fiend, Kofi Kingston as Unicorn Warlord, Speed Form, Seth Rollins as Burning Beast, The Rock as the Brahma Bull, The Undertaker as Dead Man Walking, and Xavier Woods as Unicorn Warlord, Positivity Form. While definitely not as weird as some of the other toys we covered in this video, these still make you scratch your head. They are kinda cool though, I'll admit. I want to note that the Beast forms of Becky Lynch and The Rock in Series 2 are a different shade of their respective color than their Series 1 counterparts. The line ended with Series 2, but we know of at least 3 other figures planned for the line that never made it in. Stone Cold Steve Austin as some sort of snake creature, likely a play on the Texas rattlesnake, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair. It's worth noting that what creature personas Sasha and Charlotte would have had is unknown, and it's also unknown what series these 3 could have been part of, although it's possible at least 2 of them were planned for Series 2, which would explain why The Rock and Becky Lynch got repeated. So as you can see, there's a ton of weird WWE toys out there, and I've only scratched the surface. There's still a lot more to cover, and if you'd like to see that in a future video, please let me know. Hey everyone, Seeker here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I want to apologize for the delay on this one. This video was originally supposed to be out in early August, but I was having issues with it, so I put it on the back burner for a while. But I came back to it, changed a few things up, added a new topic, and I think the end result is pretty good. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next time.